Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report, brought to you by Red Raider Outfitter, the fans' favorite since 1975. I'm Jared Johnson, and today I'm talking about Texas Tech quarterbacks, as I believe it was the Don Williams of the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. He was the first to report that, I believe that's right, that Tyler Shough was named the starter on Friday at Texas Tech, QB1. My first reaction was like, well, yeah. But my second reaction was, hey, this is an opportunity to talk about Texas Tech's quarterback room. And I think because fans feel so secure about it, the fan base overall feels so good about the quarterback room that it's one of the least talked about things, which is unusual given the position, this offseason. So this is a great opportunity to talk about Texas Tech quarterbacks. Tyler Shough, who, in my opinion, as soon as he announced that he was returning, he was, going to be QB1 this year, right after being named MVP of the Texas Bowl when Texas Tech crushed Ole Miss. This is the third year that Tyler Shough has been named the QB1 at Texas Tech. The first two seasons, he suffered really serious injuries, clavicle and shoulder. He had, as Coach Joey McGuire said several times, plates put in for protection and security there. But unlike the first season, when he sat out the rest of the year after getting injured pretty early on, I think in the fourth game of the year, last year he came back and he started the final four games. All four of those games were victories for Texas Tech. It really defined the season. Texas Tech picked up wins over Kansas, at Iowa State when it was really cold. That was an ugly game, and Shough engineered a game-winning drive late to get that very important W. They beat Oklahoma for the first time in a long time, and that was after being down by 17 points against the Sooners, which that's just unheard of for Texas Tech, but they did it. And then they, like I said, really thoroughly beat Ole Miss in the Texas Bowl to win 8 games. Tech finished with a 5-4 record in the Big 12, its first winning season in the Big 12 since 2009, and they also won 8 games for the first time since 2013. So a lot of that was Shough coming back and just doing whatever was necessary, whether it was make big plays with his arm or, like we saw, especially against Ole Miss in the bowl game, run the ball. I believe he ran the ball 25 times for over 100 yards, took some big hits, showed that he could take those big hits. Some of those were late hits as well. Some were called, some were not. But he showed the ability to take those hits and showed that not only is he a good straight line runner, but he showed some power and a little bit of elusiveness on those runs as well. 6'5", I think he's 235, so he's a big dude. And he is fast, sprinting wise. But to show some, ability to run between the tackles, some power, and then some elusiveness. He shook some guys. Really was probably the most impressive. And then just to me, he showed that he is a winner and he has control of this offense. So he had a really good spring. Everything, by all accounts, including my own eyes, when I saw him at several practices. And then the spring game, he wasn't great, but spring games are overrated, and especially in terms of quarterbacks. What I saw from Tyler Shough last season was enough to, let me know, hey, Red Raiders have one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. And, almost certainly, especially if he can stay healthy, a future NFL quarterback. So, the fact that he was announced as the starter on Friday was absolutely zero surprise to me. But still, newsworthy, of course. And to say that it's a no-brainer that Tyler Shough is the starter, my second thought on all this is to say that doesn't mean that they don't like what they have in Behren Morton. Shough is, I can't remember how many years, I think it's like a 5th or 6th year senior. But Behren Morton is a 3rd-year sophomore, former 4-star, former Elite 11 finalist, who has showed progression every year. He's added some really good weight. He looks really good. He looks the best in terms of physically carrying the body weight that quarterback needs to take the punishment they do. But he also looked very accurate in spring, and he did get some seasoning last year. He started against Oklahoma State. He started a couple of Big 12 games, showed a lot of promise, showed that ability as a playmaker, as a quarterback who first off has one of the quickest releases I've ever seen, period. And then also his ability to get outside the pocket and make plays is, next level. It's very good. So you have the quarterback of right now, and Shuck even has another year of eligibility after this season if he chooses to use it. I don't think he will. They got Oregon, Texas Tech does coming into town. Shuck's former team, he wants a shot at them. He wants to show that he can stay healthy, put up a monster season, and improve his draft stock. All of that makes a lot of sense. And then Behren Morton will have a couple of seasons to be the man as well. So I really like what they have there. And then you have true freshman Jake Strong, who was here in the spring, who had a good spring. He actually looked really good in the spring game as well. Made some really nice throws, has a really big arm. What I really liked was seeing him in spring ball throw into the wind, deep fade passes where he had no problem. That West Texas wind, which is especially something in the spring, had very little effect on him from what I saw. McGuire said that he was very accurate in spring as well. He can run some too, which in my opinion you have to have in a quarterback. He has to be able to move the chains when everything breaks down, when the play breaks down, and he gets outside the pocket or whatever. So I really like these three quarterbacks. Of course, Donovan Smith, quarterback the last 2 seasons, who won some big games for you, is now at Houston, so you will face him. That'll be an interesting matchup, but I really like the quarterback room right now. And then just looking ahead to the future, Will Hammond, Texas Tech quarterback commit for the 2024 class, who is on campus as I talk about this. He's actually on an unofficial visit. He'll be back next weekend for an official visit to help in the recruiting effort. Really nice quarterback out of Hutto, Texas. Has been committed for a while, who said he's 100% committed to Texas Tech. Doesn't matter who offers him. He's picked up some big offers in terms of from name brand Power 5 schools around the country since coming into Texas Tech. But he said, I'm all in on Texas Tech and helping the recruiting effort. But he's a high 3-star recruit, one of the top players in Texas, an Elite 11 finalist. So the future is very bright. Yes, Tyler Shuck is the quarterback right now, as it should be. He's Zach Kitley's selection's choice to run his offense for sure. But with Behren Morton, a known guy, a guy who we know can make plays in Big 12 games, is right there to take over. And if Shuck goes down this year with the injury, and then you have Jake Strong, who's already on campus developing, who has a lot of potential, and then Will Hammond, who I really like, and obviously so do other people, considering his his offer list, his ratings, and the fact that he's an Elite 11 finalist. So, but the future's bright in terms of quarterbacks and the quarterback room at Texas Tech. And I just thought this was a great opportunity to talk about all that with Shuck being named QB1 at Texas Tech. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.